Quiet on Set came out with the most jaw-dropping revelations about Nickelodeon. For years, talk about Dan Schneider being a creep has led people to dive deep into the kids' programming to dig up some pretty disgusting things. Things that Quiet on Set can't legally talk about. But now that they have sparked the conversation, I would like to dig deeper into how disgusting of a man Dan Schneider really is. The following will be about essay and other forms of abuse. If you are easily triggered by this topic, please click out of the video and take care of yourself.
We're just trying to do a little TV show.
On an empty stomach?
What?
Well, looks like you could use a pretzel, that's all I'm saying. Buy 400 and you get a free baby.
Done.
Make her pregnant, which is causing the producers to have a heart attack because they really don't need any more scandals. But wait, there's more. One of the producers, who is old enough to be her grandfather, shouldn't be having a heart attack because of shock. Because he is the one who knocked her up.
Huh?
New boyfriends are being lined up as we speak. Pregnancy was announced December of 2007. So the blind item came out before the revelation that she was pregnant.
My sister's not pregnant. Whatever.
Unfortunately, Jamie Lynn Spears may have not been the only victim of Dan Schneider.
How old are you?
I'm 12, turning 13, April 3rd. Yay! Teenager!
Let's talk about Amanda Bynes.
Who's Amanda Bynes?
Do you remember? We watched the documentary.
I was asleep.
She was from All That.
Look, each box contains cool All That prizes. Look, Ear Boy's ear.
She was the one who had a weird relationship with Dan Schneider, the one in the hot tub. Do you remember? I think you were asleep.
No, I saw that part. That's disgusting.
Oh, yeah. Remember how we said Dan Schneider would ask people for massages? Well, Amanda Bynes was one of them. And they were all very touchy-feeling. It was a very weird dynamic, and the documentary points it out very well. But it's just, it may go further into disgusting territory than we initially thought.
Amanda was between the ages of 16 and 17, and she wanted to get emancipated from her parents.
Like the documentary said, she wanted to get emancipated from her parents. And who did she run to when she wanted to get emancipated? To Dan Schneider and his wife. She wasn't exactly living at their house, but she did spend a lot of time with Dan Schneider and his wife. Even more, Dan Schneider. Here's the thing. They asked Amanda Bynes and her parents to come onto the documentary of Quiet on Set. They both rejected the idea of doing so. TMZ reported that her and her parents didn't want to go onto the documentary because they just didn't have a bad experience working at Nickelodeon. Amanda Bynes was under conservatorship of her parents. Just like Britney Spears. The parents were very hands-on with Amanda's career, and it would make sense that Amanda would go along with everything that her parents would say. In what I'm about to discuss, we're gonna talk about how controlling her parents really were and how she may have wanted to speak out about Dan Schneider back then. Back in the day, when Twitter was even more popular than today, there was an account made by what people believe was Amanda Bynes. And the person who was posting on this account, although they went by a different name, they proved their identity as Amanda Bynes. They posted their driver's license just to prove that they really were Amanda Bynes. And they were talking about how creepy Dan Schneider was and how she really did not like her experience working with him. The account name was Ashley Banks. Amanda Bynes, AB, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've been forced to deny this account to prevent them from having me committed against my will. Does that mean marriage?
No.
Committed?
Oh my God. she's basically saying that she has to deny that that's her account so that there's no repercussions.
This is just another ploy and scare tactic for them to keep my money forever.
Talking about her parents.
Day 1. I must do everything they say in order to keep my freedom. I'm sorry. Can you imagine having an abortion at 13? Because your boss impregnated you? Committed because your father touched you? What?
She looked at Dan Schneider as a father figure. So when she's talking about her dad, she really means Dan Schneider. At least that's what people think.
Exposing the truth and then having your freedom threatened.
These were a few posts that Amanda Bynes posted onto her fake account. And she did claim that she was 13 when she got an abortion. Her boss impregnated her. Her boss being none other than
Dan Schneider.
Now, just as Jamie Lynn Spears had a blind item released about her, Amanda Bynes had a blind item released about her too. Last night, after the news broke about a certain producer, an actress all of you know who knows the producer as well as anyone sent me this. Thank you for all of your ongoing support. I don't know how any of these men sleep at night, but if there's one thing that I do know is that what is done in the dark always comes to light. XOXO. Sorry, I thought that was clever. Unfortunately, I will obviously not be making any comment whatsoever for obvious reasons. And unfortunately, I feel as though the only way that legitimate stories can make the headlines regarding blank is if others publicly speak on his behavior. Blank was truly like a second father to me. But things changed, and after the second incident, I don't know if I will ever be able to have children or have the family of my dreams. People have been picking the scab for years. I just won't be the one who finally rips it off. So that was the message she sent to this certain someone who reported this as a blind item. The blanks are to protect the identity of the second father figure, which I think is pretty obvious that it's Dan Schneider.
Allegedly.
Now, here's the thing about the first little part. Thank you for all your ongoing support. She capitalizes certain letters in the middle of the sentences. And it reads, Dan did it. So, like I said, she was under conservatorship until 2022.
What does that mean? Like an NDA?
You don't know what a conservatorship is?
No.
It's basically when your parents or whoever is the person controlling you, it's basically when they just control every aspect of your life. Like Britney Spears had it really bad where her finances were controlled all by her father. She wasn't allowed to go anywhere. She had to ask permission for literally everything that she did. It was really, really bad. And so Amanda Bynes was also under conservatorship, and the parents were the ones who were controlling the whole thing. Interestingly enough, Amanda Bynes got engaged a while after that, and her parents disapproved of this relationship. She announced that she was pregnant. 2 months later, she was no longer pregnant. There was no really explanation as to what happened after she said on her own accord that she was pregnant and she was really excited for this. It wasn't her who said that her pregnancy was no longer there. It was like a manager or like a lawyer. If you recall in the blind item, it says, I don't know if I will ever be able to have children or have the family of my dreams.
Oh man. Yeah, that sucks.
And then that happened. Isn't that weird? After that, she got separated from her partner. I don't know, that just seems very, very weird to me. In the blind item, she also mentions that it's the second incident, which means she may have had to have an abortion twice.
Hey. No, hey, wait, take a close-up of this. You get a close-up of this one too?
No.
Because of this man. Dude, that is just so sad. It's terrible. It's honestly so bad. Again, it's all alleged. None of this is concrete evidence or the truth, but
everything points to it.
It sure does.
And there's lots of random stuff in her locker. I'm constantly staring at these pictures and I'm just kind of confused by her artwork. Well, this is Dan Schneider. This is a younger picture of handsome young Dan.
Poor Victoria, poor Victoria, poor Victoria. Everybody hates her.
I actually feel really, really bad for Victoria
Yeah.
Justice.
She got blacklisted.
Allegedly. Jennette Mccurdy, in her book, she said they offered her like $300,000 or something like that in hush money.
Oh, not even work money. Hush money.
Hush money. And a lot of people, I think, have come out and said that they have been offered hush money as well, just to not talk about anything that they experienced during Nickelodeon. Basically, they wanted them to sign an NDA. I believe that Victoria Justice signed an NDA.
She had to. She never came out about nothing that happened. I don't think, right?
You know how I checked everybody's Instagram to see if they followed each other? I checked Victoria Justice's Instagram. She follows Dan Schneider. And Dan Schneider follows her back. However, she has not spoken out about any of it. And some people say that if she did sign an NDA, she's not allowed to talk about anything negative, but she wouldn't be not allowed to talk about anything positive. And the fact that she has remained silent during this whole thing maybe indicates that she has nothing good to say about working in Nickelodeon.
Dan Schneider was, what's her show called? Victorious? Did he work on Victorious?
He did. He did work on Victorious. And Victorious is probably the most disgusting of any of the shows, to be honest. There's a lot of terrible, terrible references and innuendos, especially with the Ariana Grande ones.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
There are rumors that say that Victoria Justice wasn't really that much in the 4th season of the show Victorious because she did not want to sleep with the producer.
That's crazy. That's her show too.
Allegedly, the producer allowed rumors to spread about her during her time on Victorious. There's a lot of bullying done with Victorious, especially with the feud that was going on between her and Ariana Grande at the time.
You have addressed this before, this whole controversy with Ariana Grande and the feud,
Right.
so-called feud that you've said is not true. It keeps coming up over and over and over. It's back again in the news.
And so no one said anything to protect Victoria Justice at this time. And it was believed that they allowed this to happen so that she wouldn't be a successful person in the future. There was a blind item to be released about this as well. A mutual friend said we should meet. To clear the air, an actress wanted to tell her side of the stories. She says she is not a pain to work with and that for the past year, she has purposefully not asked for anything on any set from anyone. Yet the stories continue. She knows why. She blames it on the producer. Our actress says that even though she was the star of the show, it was in name only. When she landed the part, the producer never mentioned anything about sleeping with her. According to her, it wasn't necessary because he had a handful of actresses on other shows who were keeping him busy. All but one of them were underage. She suspected that because she was legal for almost the entire run of the show, he just was not that into her. At some point, he did try to sleep with her and she turned him down. That rejection cost her a bunch of scene reductions. The next time she turned him down, her personal appearance offers began to dry up, and she was even in fewer scenes. Meanwhile, the producer found someone else to sleep with who was also legal, but loved to roleplay super young. She was getting the good lines and scenes. She was being offered crossover opportunities and new shows. A lot of people think that this person was Ariana Grande.
She wasn't underage?
No. So, allegedly, Dan Schneider did not want to sleep with Victoria Justice at first because she was overage.
Okay, so there is an age limit. She just has to be under 18.
But after a while, I guess he did want to, and she refused, and so she was blacklisted. The person who didn't refuse was Ariana Grande.
You think she did?
Allegedly. Ariana Grande was the one to be able to get away with a lot of things during her time at Nickelodeon. It's very prominent with how Jennette Mccurdy talks about this whole situation. We'll talk about that in a second. But she was the one to go on to have another show. All about her. And her screen time on Victorious went up a lot in the fourth season. If you wanted your career to succeed, you took the side of the producer. The producer started spreading lies about our actress. He did so regularly. When the show finally ended, there was no one out there who was willing to hire her because of all the stories the producers had been spreading. So when she did get work and asked for anything or was a few minutes late from lunch or whatever, the stories would start again and getting work even harder. The only work she really can get at this point are product endorsement deals and doing work for companies. No one wants to hire her for acting. No one wants her for pretty much anything. She says that even though her career has gone into the tank because she wouldn't sleep with a producer, she doesn't regret her decision. She points to another actress of the show he produced. That actress slept with the producer and his friends, and it didn't help her career at all. Some people think that this is referring to Miranda Cosgrove. She's hoping that people will start to pressure the producer to let up on the comments and that other producers will give her a chance. She just wants to work.
You know what Dan Schneider seems like?
Yeah.
A child. Someone who can't handle rejection. And now that he has all that power, he's just like, yeah, I'm finna mess you over. You know?
Yeah.
Nah, bro, you're a grown man, act like you.
Again, all alleged.
No smiling. If you, all right. Take $100 off a check.
Jennette Mccurdy.
Ooh, this is one who was not quiet. Love that.
She was one of the first people to speak out about her experience on Nickelodeon. She did not take that hush money. She's very proud of that, and honestly, she should be. In her memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, she said she felt exploited during her time in Nickelodeon. She said she recalled the time while filming an episode of iCarly when the creator, she says, the creator to, for Dan Schneider, whom she described as mean-spirited, controlling, and terrifying, insisted that she wear a bikini instead of the one piece that she felt comfortable in for the scene in iCarly. The creator pressured her into drinking alcohol when she was underage while comparing the iCarly cast
to the Victorious cast, because they were always drunk. That's another reason they not blacklisted, but made Victoria the black sheep of the show, because I think she wouldn't want to drink, and her sister. She didn't want to drink either. Both of them didn't want to drink.
I don't know if that's true though.
I think that's true. Don't quote me on that. As a matter of fact, y'all let me know. Let me know if that's true or not.
At the time that she was pressured to drink, she was 18. And it's legal in London. It's not legal here.
It's legal in Mexico for sure. 12 years old.
Oh my God. The creator of the show said that it would help her image, which I don't know what the heck that means. The conversation was as follows. I've never had alcohol and I'm only 18. Couldn't I get in trouble?
No one's looking. You're fine. The iCarly kids are so wholesome and we need to give you guys a little edge.
I don't know if drinking is what gives a person edge.
One sip.
She takes the drink and she drinks it. It's good.
Don't lie to me. I don't like when you lie to me.
After this whole exchange, she says, I've done well. I've pleased him. Mission accomplished. She said that the creator always compared the iCarly kids to the kids on Victorious. And she said that, I think he thinks it'll make us try harder. By comparing. The creator is doing the thing that I've heard from my co-stars. He does this with every new star of the show that he's making. He takes you under his wing. You're his favorite, for now. I like being his favorite, for now. I feel like I'm doing something right.
I don't know why people make this so hard. Like, just come out and say it, please.
Say what?
What are we talking about?
Baby, they signed an NDA.
No, you can say that you signed an NDA.
Oh.
Just say I signed an NDA.
Well, they have like managers and people that they need to talk to. It's a very complicated process, and everything needs to be approved.
It's about time we take down Hollywood.
Honestly. By the way, Ariana Grande was the one to be able to get away with everything during her time on Sam and Cat. She was, according to Jennette Mccurdy, obviously, she was able to leave and do her own career, do her own stuff while being on the show. And Jennette Mccurdy said that she was really pissed off about it.
I would be too.
Because she had to turn down 2 feature films.
Crazy.
Because they wouldn't let her go. Everything was what Ariana Grande wanted. If the blind item is true, then that is very unfortunate. She was a victim, and that may have been also the reason why she was able to get away with a lot of things during her time on Sam and Cat. So all these blind items, they had to have come from somewhere. These blind items come from the site Crazy Days and Nights. And this site has a whole bunch of blind items about celebrities, and people decode them and try to figure out who they are about, right? The person who ran this site went by the name Ent Lawyer. He was the one who posted all of these blind items.
ENT?
Entertainment Lawyer.
Oh.
His identity was revealed a while back.
It's Michael Jackson.
No. He's not an entertainment lawyer. He is an attorney though in California. He is not a good person. He is not. He was exposed. Introducing NT Lawyer, the creator of Crazy Days and Nights blog. John Robert Nelson is his name. He's a practicing attorney who ran for California Democratic Congressional Office in 2018. NT Lawyer has used his blind items, blog, and podcast to torment celebrities from the big and small screen using gossip, rumors, and lies. NT Lawyer has shown a consistent and documented pattern of targeting and harassing a wide range of innocent celebrities, especially women. Most notably, Diana Jenkins, who sued over a series of blind items, tweets, and podcast interviews that suggested that she was a sex trafficker who was linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Ultimately, NT Lawyer was made to release a statement. I regret contributing to the false narrative, and I apologize to Diana and her family for the harm my statements have caused. Most recently, this proud family man has been caught cheating on his wife and mother to his 2 young daughters. John Nelson preyed on and cheated with a single mother from Florida living in poverty who is a domestic violence survivor with 3 young children, 2 of which are autistic and special needs. In John Nelson's deliberate attempt to once again deceive the world, he portrayed himself to his most recent mistress/victim as a lonely, loving single father saving his young daughters from Victoria Nelson's child abuse. He has actually said that he's given before to this victim, this mistress, which is crazy. So he is a horrible person, like undoubtedly. Many people have pointed out that although people claim that his blind items are false, a lot of them have come true. A lot of them are true.
So he's the one exposing the blind items?
He's the one posting these blind items.
He's posting the blind items, and
Yes.
he's a horrible person.
He's a horrible person, but he is an attorney in California. He may have connections, and he had a whole bunch of blind items that were talking about the Jeffrey Epstein Island. And as we all know, it turned out to be true. So although he's a horrible person, there may be truth to his blind items. So although the site, I guess for legal purposes, does say that some of these are
Not true.
not true and for entertainment purposes only. Who knows? Some of them seem to be true. Amanda Bynes one seems to be true. I don't know. It's all very terrible, and Dan Schneider is a horrible person nonetheless. Hollywood is a terrible place.
And you want to be a part of it.
Sandy Mola. Bye!